Hey y'all, we're looking at mini lab number 3. So we're going to practice classifying some beans. So let's look at our beans here. Okay, so we're starting out with just a bunch of random beans. And what we want to do is we're going to divide the beans into 2 groups. And then we're going to write down those 2 groups, how we identified them on our paper. Okay, so one way that we can do this is looking at large beans and small beans. So if we take the large beans and put them all together, and then take the small beans and put those all together, we have our first grouping. So on our paper, we would put large and small. Okay. Then we're going to take each one of those groups and divide them further. So, oops, put this one over here. Or do these go in the large group? So there's some, you can kind of decide how it's going to work. It's up to you and your idea of large versus small. Okay, so for my next grouping, I'm going to do light colored versus dark colored. So I'm going to divide this group into 2 more groups. Okay, so then on my paper, I would put light versus dark. Okay, and we're going to do it again. So now this group, I have 2 different types here. And again, I can do large versus small, light versus dark, brown versus red. Okay, so it just depends what you think, how you want to do it. Okay, so for my paper, I'm going to write down for my dark beans, I divided them into brown versus red. Okay, for my light colored group, I'm going to do plain versus spotted. Okay, so I have a spotted group and I have a plain group. Oops. All right, now let's move on to our small group that we started with. So we're done with these beans, and now we're going to focus just on these. Okay, so I think my first grouping I'm going to do is round. So all of these are round versus oval. So I have round beans and then I have oval beans. So on my paper, I will write round, oval. Okay, now for my oval group, I'm going to divide them again into light versus dark. So on my paper, under oval, I'll put light versus dark. Now for my round beans, I actually have 3 different types of beans. So I'm going to do brown versus colored. So take these brown ones out and leave those colored ones there. So brown versus colored. And then, because the colored, I actually still have 2 different types of beans here, I need to divide this again. So then I would have yellow in one group and green in another group. Okay. All right, and that's our mini lab number 3. So make sure you record your results. If you're doing it at home with a set of beans, make sure you clean up your mess when you're done. All right, moving on to the next part.